Let's go over the Titans.
Okay. Now, Titans, for those who might have been living under a Dwayne Johnson, acquired Tyler Lockett. They got Cam Ward, brought back a lot of their offensive linemen, and then ultimately just built through the draft. They're in rebuild. That's what you see there. So, new quarterback with Cam Ward. We'll see how they end up shaking out. But pulling up the schedule now, just before we go over early sentiments, before we go over there, how do you see this team shaking out?
Yeah, I feel like this is a dark horse team right now, especially in Tennessee. It's going to be a team a lot of people are going to overlook. They're in a rebuild right now, so could be a year where they go 7-9, but at the end of it, they're looking like a sneaky team that's really going to take the next step. So they're definitely on my watch list as far as next playoff teams. I don't think it's going to be this year, but take a look at the Titans next year, and I think we're going to be talking about a really good team.
Okay. Well, they start their season 1 o'clock on Sunday at Denver, facing Bo Nix and the Broncos.
At Denver, I feel like is always tough, especially if you're a rookie. Now with Sean Payton, he usually has his teams ready in week one. And historically, the Saints have taken that through earlier in the season. So give me the Broncos in that game to win.
Okay. Second week of the season, they stay at home to go to Tennessee, and the Rams come to town with Matt Stafford.
Yeah, give me the Rams again in that game. I feel like that's always a tough matchup, and then Stafford should be enough to get it done there. So not going to pick against the Rams.
So they're 0-2 at this point. In week 3, they stay at home, and they host Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson in the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, and Titans get their first win. I feel like we're going to see a lot of good things from Cam Ward in those first two games. Like Denver's a tough place to play. The Rams are definitely tough on defense, but I will take them to beat the Colts. So I think there's at least one win in there.
Okay. And then week 4, they will be at Houston. Their first 4 weeks of the season, getting acclimated, rookie quarterback. Texans week 4 in Houston.
Yeah, you had the Texans winning that game, so I will stick with that for continuity of the show. And now they are 1-3 through their first 4 games, but that's okay.
That's okay. Their schedule does get a little bit easier coming up. Week 5, they go to Arizona, to Glendale to take on the Cardinals and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, give me the Titans just because I think they have heart.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have heart, and the Cardinals do not. So I will agree with that sentiment there. Week 6, the most improved team in the NFL, taking on the Tennessee Titans in the city of sin, Las Vegas. Vegas hosts the Titans.
Yeah, and I feel like these two teams will be in a similar situation, but this could be where we start to see the cracks a little bit for Vegas if they're able to start the year hot with Ashton Genty. But give me the Titans in this game, and they end up moving up to 3-3. Now we're 500.
Okay, staying afloat now. And then next couple of games here, they're getting close to their bye week. Next week, they have going at home, they're facing Drake May and the newly improved Patriots.
Ooh, at home versus the Patriots is going to be tough. We're on a little bit of a run right now, but Mike Vrabel versus his own team. You let Mike Vrabel walk. I feel like this is going to be an important game for the Patriots, especially someone like Big Mike going up against a former team and a rookie quarterback. Give me the Patriots in that one. And then they dropped to 3-4.
Yep. So at this point, they're 3-4. They go to Indianapolis to take on the Colts and Shane Steichen.
And then give me the Titans again in this matchup, and then they go back to 500. I just can't put my arms around the Colts with Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones this year. It's like the IQ went down in their quarterback room.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not so sold on the Colts. Do they split historically? I'll have to look at the numbers, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts are the more disappointing teams in this division coming up. Upcoming schedule starts to get a little bit tough, but they go week 9. They will be hosting the Los Angeles Chargers.
Week 9, hosting the Chargers. I feel like that's definitely a winnable game in a dogfight for you. I'll flip a coin in my mind, and my head tells me that the Titans will win that game at home.
Okay. So at this point, they are 5-4, surprising a lot of people. They have a bye week. They get some rest, and then they return to Houston to take on the Texans.
And then I believe you had them splitting with the Texans in that game and winning that one. So after that one, I will put the Titans up there, and now they're 6-4.
Okay. And then week 12, They will be hosting the Sam Darnold Seattle Seahawks and Mike McDonald.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely another winnable game for the Titans, especially going up against Sam Darnold here. Feel like their offense is not going to be that great, especially when we're at this point in the season. I feel like Seattle's kind of be going to be gasping for air. So give me the Titans again in that matchup.
Okay. And then getting into the witching hour of the NFL season, we're entering into December now. 1:00 game, week 13. They are hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars for the first time this season.
Yeah, and I think like for all that we can say about the Jaguars, they usually do have tough matchups, and they are hosting the Jaguars in this one.
Yes.
I think they'll split, but give me the Jaguars in this matchup. Just because they have too many wins right now. I think the Jags win that, and then they drop to 7-5.
Okay. And then week 14, they go to Cleveland in December. Maybe there's snow, maybe there's not at this point. And they take on whether it's Shador Sanders, whether it's Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, whoever else is at carousel at quarterback at that point, taking on Myles Garrett in that defense. But in Cleveland, 1:00 Sunday.
I mean, one of them has to work, right? And I feel like that's just one of those tough environments to play in. So give me Cleveland in that matchup. I think Cleveland can squeak out the win. Then they drop down 7-6.
All right. And then the next two games get a little tough. They will be 4:00 slate. They will be going to San Francisco to take on the Niners.
Yeah, well, the Niners have a team at that point. Well, assuming they are still healthy, I will take the San Francisco 49ers. They should win at this point, but do I think San Francisco will have a team at that point? Probably not. They might all be hurt.
Oh, they might be in retirement home. Do you know how old that team is? That team's like average age is like 32. It's insane.
No, they're like the San Antonio Spurs in 2015.
Yeah, pretty much. They're old. And then next week, we're in week 16, a couple more games to end the season. They're somewhat still in the hunt for this wild card spot, so your predictions are starting to align. Week 16, they will be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs at 1:00.
Next question.
So at this point, they are
7-8.
They are 7-8. Okay. And then do we even need to go over the next game? They will be hosting arguably who could be the worst team in the history of the NFL. We'll talk about them when we talk about the NFC South. But how about the New Orleans Saints and whoever is quarterback at that point for that team?
Yeah, we go back up to 500. Now they're 8-8.
And then a flex game. We don't know whether this will be prime time or not. Probably won't be, but they go to Jacksonville with all the Jacksonville fan and take on the Jags.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the game they beat the Jaguars. They move to a winning record and potentially a wild card or divisional championship, because that would put them at 9-8. And I feel like, between 7-9 and 9-8 is reasonable for this Titans team. They're going to be a young team, a lot to prove, and not a lot of people are going to take them seriously. So I do think they have a lot of winnable games in the schedule, and if all the dominoes fall correctly, I feel like a bold take for the Titans would be them finishing 9-8, and I don't think it's that crazy, especially just going over the schedule. Like, they finished worse in their division that year, so they are going to have some cupcakes there. Maybe you swap out like the Browns loss with another one, but even if they do like switch around a few wins here, I feel like 7 wins should be attainable, and 9 you exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I think it comes down to Cam Ward. If Cam Ward is really good, then I think that they're 9-8. If Cam Ward struggles in his first year, then 7-10 is probably attainable.
In week 1,